Hey everyone, thanks for learning to play games. My name is Lance, and in today's video I'm going to be playing through the first part of Fateforge, Chronicles of Cain. This is a brand new game from Mighty Boards. It is a 1 to 4 player game that takes roughly 1 to 2 hours to play per session as you're playing through a campaign. Now there is a one-off mode where you can just simply play a battle if you just want to experience the battle part of it and get into that. Otherwise, the game itself is going to be played as a campaign that is going to be a narratively driven campaign. So there's going to be a fair amount of reading. You will have to have an app for this game, but the app is free to download for the game as well. And it's going to progress the story and have you making choices and all kinds of different things as you make your way around the city, discovering different things that are going on, trying to solve what is happening and trying to overthrow the empire. So in this video, I'm going to be covering the very first section of this, and I'll play through probably a couple of hours of the game just to show you all the different stuff, take you through some battles, some exploration, and find out what is going on, or hopefully find out what is going on. And I'm going to be simulating a 3-player game with this. So as always, if you find my videos helpful, if you like what I do, please consider hitting that like button and subscribe to my channel. It's one of the easiest ways you can support channels like mine so we continue to grow, build and produce this content. If you want to stay updated on all my videos, also give that notification bell a ring, and that'll let you know whenever I drop new videos, as I'm constantly dropping new teaching videos, playthroughs, crowdfunding videos, and others, and that'll keep you up to date. So let's go ahead and head to the table, and we'll see what this one's all about. All right, so moving into the game. So again, I'm going to start in Act 1, and we'll see how far we make it in this. Now with this, again, I'm not going to be reading the prologue and stuff. I'm just going to move right into the adventure, so not everything will be spoiled. So if this is something you're interested in, you'll still have some new stuff to explore as we go through. Now I'm going to set up for a 3-player game, and I've chosen the Shaman, the Forest Guard, and the Nobleman. So we'll see how that combination works, and if I can make it through some of this. All right, so I have my map set out initially, and I have my little marker for it. I'm just going to place him over there for the moment. And with that, I'm going to dive into this campaign. And with this first part, it is going to give you some instruction on what's going on in the app and how to work through everything. So this first one here is just telling me that I need to find this letter and go ahead and read it and return it to the box once I'm done, and then I'll click continue. So I'm just going to keep working my way through. So these days, all roads to Cain lead to Estafir, the capital of Carthagale Empire. Merchants, and I'm going to say right now I will probably mutilate a lot of these words, and I do apologize for that, so bear with me with that, and hopefully it won't be too much for you. So merchants arrive with the treasures of 100 lands. Adventurers come to turn their fortunes around in a city that grows in wealth and glory by the day. The generosity and ambition of the Ilral, its mysterious immortal emperor, appears boundless. Your journey from the primordial forest has been neither short nor easy, but as you finally approach the city, you feel a shudder of excitement race up your spines. Estafir is an impressive sight to behold. So I'm going to place the map out, and then it says I place the map key onto the table in front of you. During story scenes, you will remove stickers from the map key to reveal important locations you discover. Now, one important note with that, which I made a mistake on, is that you are going to reveal the stickers, and that's going to tell you the locations. Now, those locations are not stickers, which I was assuming at first, and I tried peeling that off, and it obviously did not work so well. So just keep that in mind, that this is just a reference key for the locations on the map, so it doesn't, you're not actually removing things from, there is stickers on here to reveal the names of the locations as you go through the main map, but you're not actually going to be placing any stickers on this map itself. So just keep that in mind, and I'm just going to place this off to the side for the moment, and we're going to continue. All right, so it says remove sticker 1 from the map key and place the party token on location 1 on the map. So we're going to be at location 1, which is right there. As you walk through the main gate leading into the Caravanserai, the guards at their station signal you out of the crowd of travelers, or single you out of the crowd of travelers. There you are, one of them exclaims. I told my friends to expect some forest folk coming through the gate. I knew you were coming from a mile away. It's how far your stink carries. The other guards laughed. One of them walks up to get a closer look at you, and no wonder he smirks. Just take a look at yourself. What dead animal is it you have draped over you? So this one is going to give me a choice. I can either stand up for myself, or I can put your heads down and keep walking. Well, I'm not really looking to get into a fight at the moment, so I think I'm going to choose the second option to put our heads down and keep walking. You decide it's best to let the matter go and not cause a scene. When you put your head down and move on, the guards' laughter increases. You keep walking and let their laughter fade away behind you. You avoided getting a negative reputation on the militia and this making yourself known. The app tracks how you interact with certain factions of the game and influence how you react to them in the future, or how they react to you in the future. This will have consequences in the story, although the game will not explicitly tell you when these are triggered. You can now view your reputation with these factions in the status button, or statistics button, at the bottom of the screen. You find yourself in a wide, dusty plaza, packed with travelers milling in every direction. Under the colonnades that surround the palace, you can see stables, taverns, inns, and shops, everything a weary traveler could need to restore themselves. After a tiring journey, you are not even in the city proper, and already you feel like this bustling labyrinth could swallow you whole. No one pays you any attention, except for a cat, standing in the middle of a narrow street, looking at you with strangely intense focus. You are a stranger here. You know no one in Estafir, and you are about to head to one of the inns around the plaza, but a young girl steps out in front of you. She's carrying a massive bundle of flowers and is wearing more flowers in her hair. She moves towards you and extends a hand holding a single pink rose. You notice a symbol tattooed on her wrist, under her sleeve, a circle of dots. Are you the heroes of the forest? I have a message for the heroes of the forest. Do you confirm you are the heroes of the forest, or deny you are the heroes of the forest? Well, this is an interesting decision. Somebody that walks up to me randomly, I don't know how I feel about that, whether I want to proclaim that I am or not. But, yeah, let's see where this goes. So I'm going to confirm I am the heroes from the forest. The girl squeals. I knew it was you. I knew it. Please, you must follow me. I will take you to an ally that knows your druid friends. Before you can reply, she turns away, beckoning you to follow. Without warning, a band of militia jump out of the shadows and surround the girl. You had expected a child like her to be scared, but what you see is something else entirely. She throws her bundle of flowers in the air, and before they come back down, you see a flash of a blade. A guard falls to the ground. He clenches his throat, uselessly trying to contain the jet of blood. She flies like a cornered rat. Another flash of the blade, and another guard falls. The leader notices you, points your way, and shouts, "They're with her! Get them!" A few of the militia rush towards you. Their leader blows twice on a horn to call for reinforcements. And that's giving me information about brown frames. So this one gives you one like this will give you a summary of the combat scene you're about to play. This will include an overview and of the objectives you find to complete in order to succeed. All right, you've gotten yourself embroiled into an altercation with the militia. Defeat the militia officer blocking your path to avoid arrest. All right, so then we enter into a fight. So first off, this is the introductory fight, so some of this is going to give you more information than you normally need. And it's going to point out that some of the enemies are going to have special abilities, such as frontliner, blocker, and leader, and I'll cover those more in a little bit when we actually have the enemies out. Next, it's going to list the components that I need. So first off, it's going to tell me what enemy cards to pull from the box. So I'll go ahead and grab those. All right, so I need 373, which is the guard dog. And then I need 301, which is an archer, or elite archer. 303, which is an elite grunt. 304, which is a guard, and 308, which is the lieutenant. Okay, and then the rest of these can be returned, so I don't need them at the moment. Okay, so I have all my enemies now. I can slide this map off to the side because I'm going to need the space for my board. And then I also need some additional components. So I need a starting component, and I need points A and B. Here's A and B. Okay. Then I'm also going to need some enemy tokens. So I'm going to need 1 dog, 1 archer, 3 soldiers, 1 guard, and leader. And then I also need 1 yellow gem. All right, so next it's going to give me the map layout that I need. So I'm going to move these on over here. And this one has me going with A1 down here. And then I need some squares. I need A4, A9, and I'm also going to need A2 up here, but first I need A7. There's A7. Okay. All right, so that is what I need there. Okay. Next, it's going to tell me the objectives. So the next screen displays the objectives of the combat scene, as well as any special rules that apply. You must complete all objectives to succeed. Make sure all players understand these objectives, then click Next to begin the guided combat scene setup. All right, so first off, the main objectives are to defeat the militia officer guarding the exit A, leave from exit A, complete all main objectives to succeed. Special rules. This combat scene serves as an introduction to allow players to get familiar with the combat system. Make sure you read the rules for combat scenes before continuing and then follow the instructions shown on the app. You have 3 rounds to complete this combat. All right, so the combat scene. For this fight only, you may reset the health and energy of all of your heroes after the combat. If you fail to achieve the objectives of this combat, the app will bring you back to this point again. Keep an eye on the round counter on the top of the screen so you don't run out of time. All right, so now it's telling me for the map, and then it's going to have me line up the enemies. So we have the dog, then the archers. These guys are going to need a little bit more room. Let's put them over here. And finally that guy. All right, and then has me placing out the different locations. So starting location and B, and then A is up there. All right, and then I'm going to have some enemies going out. So I have 2 there. Dog, archer, and leader is guarding that exit. All right. All right, and then it's just telling me more about that, and then if I need to reference anything, where to find that. And it also says to put 2 black cubes on the leader, as he has some armor that I have to get through first. And then I also have 1 gem at that location. All right, and then it wants an additional supply of tokens out if you need them. I will be putting out some blocking tokens just to have those out. Okay. All right. I think that will do it. And then we have our party bag up top there. And now I'm going to place my turn order. All right, and this can be rearranged during the round, so it doesn't really matter how we do it. So I'm just going to go ahead and do this for the moment. So that will be that. Okay. And then each player's hero is placed on the starting tile. Okay. All right, so then it gives me a breakdown of the different buttons that I'm going to find on the board or on this app. And it says preparation phase. So, and this is also going to give you a reminder of which pages in the rulebook all of this stuff is on. So during the preparation phase, I'll go over that real quick as we get into this. The first thing each of the heroes is going to do, and I'm not doing that in this game because I'm controlling all three heroes and I'm a single player. But normally as a hero, you're going to have a little screen that's going to be in front of you that you're going to roll your dice in and keep those dice hidden from the other players. This way, then you have to communicate with each other, and you can't show each other the dice, and you can't explicitly tell the other players what symbols you have. So in this way, I think their intention with this is basically so that you don't have one player stepping up and telling everybody what to do, or the best options. You attack this guy with these dice, and I'll attack this guy with these dice, and all that. So it kind of avoids some of that, and that's my understanding of it. Now that could be completely wrong, and there might be other intentions with that, but that's my guess with that at least. But I won't be doing that here because obviously I see all the dice, so it really doesn't matter if I'm rolling them behind a screen or not. All right, so first off, each of the heroes is going to start by rolling their set of dice. So we'll go ahead and handle that real quick. I'll just add those back onto their boards. And we're starting off with some blanks already. Ugh. Okay. All right. All right, so from there, after everybody's rolled their dice, then you move into the optional actions. Each hero during this step can do these actions in any order that they want. Those actions are to dash, which allows each hero to move from their space to one adjacent space. Now, if there are any enemies in the space that you are moving out of, each enemy does you one wound when you move out of that space. So that's the one stipulation to that. You can also choose to spend energy to re-roll any of your blank symbols or missed symbols that don't count. Now, you can't re-roll any other dice, just those symbols, those. And also, if you happen to have three of a kind, so for example, with my forest guard here, I almost do. So if I would have ended up rolling another sword on any color die, doesn't matter, doesn't have to be all of the same color, I can choose to change one of those symbols to any side of that die of my choice. So it's totally up to me what I choose out of that. And that will not count for the divided dice unless all of the dice share that same side. So with this one, this would only count, this foot would only count as one, not that I have 2 feet. Now I can use those separately, but for the purposes of re-rolling, I cannot. All right, so each of the heroes can carry all that out. And so none of us have 3 of a kind. So there's no point in doing anything there. My player over here is going to spend energy, though, to re-roll this one symbol here. And I got an extra foot out of that. Okay. Okay, so from there, then I don't think anybody else, do I want to do it with him? I don't think so. I think I'm good there. And then we have the option to dash. So each of our heroes can move up to one space. And I think I'm going to do that. So all 3 of them are going to move up into here. As with this one, I only have 3 rounds to make it through it. So I think moving as quickly as possible can be beneficial. All right. And then also with my nobleman here, he has a special stance. He has the Master Fencer. So during preparation, I can choose a stance using the stance token. So I can either go with the arrow, which allows me to convert all of the arrows and these super arrows into a move and an attack. So it lets me move first and then attack, but I have to carry out both of those to be able to utilize it. So I cannot just move and not attack, or attack the arrow. I have to be able to hit something. So I could do that, and I do have one of those arrows, so that could be useful. Or I can do this one, which lets me spend this symbol, which is once per turn I can gain a block token, which lets me go into low guard. And at this point, since I have a couple move actions, I think that is probably the better option. So I'm going to go ahead and do the low guard option so that I can spend that to gain that, because otherwise I really don't have a use for that one at the moment. And then at the top here, it also gives me more information about some of these. So if I'm in the arrow stance, I do not suffer damage from dashing out of a zone with enemies. So that's really helpful. And then with the repose, that one is once per combat round, if you block any damage from an enemy, in your zone deal 1 damage to that enemy. So that also can be very useful. And I think I'll end up potentially using that right away here during the enemy turn. Okay, so at that point, the last step of the preparation phase is to set the player order. So at this point, again, our players are going to be talking with each other to determine what the player order should be. Now, again, the players are not going to know each other's dice, so it's all about communication at this point and working together as a team to come up with a plan without all of the knowledge. So let's see here. I have a lot of different options here. But I think the best option really is for the forest guard to go first. So I'm going to have him go first, and then I'll have the shaman go next, followed by the nobleman. All right, so the forest guard is first up. So I'm going to go ahead and spend my move action to move forward, and there's no penalty to that even with and allow unless certain enemies do have. So like with this green guy here, he has the blocker ability, which allows the heroes or stops heroes from moving out of an area that he's in voluntarily. I'm actually ready to move on to the action phase. Okay, so I spent my first die to move, and then I'm going to spend these 2 swords to do 2 damage to this archer as he has 2 health right now. Each one of the enemies will list the amount of damage that they have to be dealt in order to defeat them. So this guard has been eliminated, and I'll just place his token over there. All right, and then the last die, I don't have a use for it, so I can't really do anything else at the moment with that. All right, so from there, then it's going to move into the enemy reaction step. So this is going to have me, it's going to randomly generate enemies that are going to activate. All right, so first off, it would be the archer that would activate, but the archer has been defeated, so I'm going to go ahead and hit this skull here and tell it that all the archers have been defeated. So then it gives me new group of enemies that are going to activate. So first off, a swordsman or elite grunt is going to activate. So it'll be one of these guys as they are in the space with my heroes, and their first thing is to do an attack. So these 2 would be the qualifying ones, and if there's a choice, as there's only one enemy that will activate of that type, it'll be based on the initiative order. So this enemy here is going to activate and deal 1 damage to either the shaman or the nobleman. And I guess I'll take it with the nobleman. He's got a fair amount of options there. All right, and then this guy is going to activate, and with his activation, he just attacks. So it's not going to have any effect on that, but his card here does tell me some different stuff. So first off, he would attack if he was able to, which he can't, as there's nobody in his space. So the next option is to move 1 space towards the highest hero, which is that one. So he's going to move into this space here. And if he couldn't move into a space with a hero, then he would do the last option, which is to gain 2 block, which would be really bad news for our heroes. All right, so that is that. So from there, then it moves back over and it continues on with our heroes. So the shaman is going to be next to take his turn. All right, so I've got a move action, and I have an action that gives me an option. I can either convert it into a sword, or I can convert swords into those symbols. And I could use that symbol and a symbol of my choice to carry out the heal action, which lets me heal a hero that I'm in a space with. So I could heal the nobleman in this turn, but I'd have to spend 2 of my dice to do so. All right, so with that, what do I want to do here? I'm going to go ahead and do a move action to move into here. And then I'm going to spend my sword and this symbol to convert it to a sword to do 2 damage to that guard who has 2 health. So that'll take that guard out. And then I'm going to go ahead and use my arrow to can't shoot the dog right now, otherwise that would be very handy, as the elite grunt has a frontline ability. So all ranged attacks must be assigned to those guys first before it can hit other targets. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the number 1 guy back there, and so he's going to take 1 damage. So I'll put a cube on him, as he has 2 health. Now, if I'm not able to eliminate him by the end of the round, all those are going to come off during the cleanup phase. So it is important to take enemies out if you can during that step. All right, so now he's used all of his dice, so I can't do anything else. So it's over to Nobleman to go. So Nobleman is next, and I have some options with him. So first I'm going to go ahead and spend that symbol to gain a block. And then I will go ahead and move. I'm going to take a shot onto this guy, so that's going to take him out. And then as my last action, I'm going to go ahead and move again. So I'll move into there. Okay. Now, important note with that is if there's any things like gems in there or anything like that, you have to defeat all the enemies first, and then once all the enemies are defeated, then you automatically pick up anything that's in that space. All right, so that is all my heroes. So then we're into the enemy turn. So it says that I'm going to activate all surviving enemies, and each one of them is going to perform 1 action on their card in sequence. So it's going to start with the dog. The dog is going to deal 1 damage to a hero in the space, which is my hero. And I do have a block, so it's going to block the damage, and I also will trigger this repose. And it says once per combat round, if you block any damage from an enemy in your zone, deal 1 damage to that enemy. So I actually will be able to take the dog out as part of that. All right, so the next is going to be this enemy here. He's going to do 1 damage to my guy as well. And this enemy is not going to be able to attack anybody in space, and he's going to stay there. All right, then there are no enemies for the guard. And then finally I have the lieutenant. So the lieutenant is going to, he has the leader ability, and his other ability is just a straight up attack, but it also does a bonus damage, and it's going to target the player that is highest on or soonest on the track. There isn't anybody in that space to attack at this point, and he's never going to leave that space as he's guarding the exit. So he will trigger his ability, though. It says during the enemy turn, or during enemy turns, move the closest red minion not in this enemy zone 1 zone towards this enemy. So this guy's actually going to move into his zone. All right, and that is everything. So then I'm going to move into the cleanup phase. And the cleanup phase is going to first have you mark any defeated heroes. All of my heroes are fine. None of them have been defeated. And then it says that I'm going to return any unused block tokens to the supply from heroes and enemies. So if any enemies or heroes would have any tokens out, then those would be removed. Then I would remove any stun cubes from enemies, and I remove any red damage cubes from enemies that have not been defeated. So if there were any enemies that had taken some or partial damage, those would actually be cleaned off at this point, and that is going to end the round. So it also says, don't forget to remove any damage from enemies that were not defeated this round. See toughness and armor on page 11 of the rulebook. All right, so moving on. So that is the end of round 1. So then it says there's going to be a map change. So in this round, the layout of the combat scene will change. A pop-up will show you the new map, add tiles and enemy tokens as shown, but leave the rest of the tokens or tiles and tokens unchanged. All right, so the horn sounds nearby and reinforcements appear in the alleys around you. So I'm going to add some new tiles. So this one's going to be A11. Is going to be added. So A11 goes down here, which is going to come with a new archer and a new grunt. And then I have A6, which will be added here. That one's going to add another dog and another guard or grunt. And then finally A8. Be added here, and that's going to add another archer. Okay. and then continue. All right, so now it is back to preparation, the preparation phase for round 2. All right, so each of our heroes are going to roll dice. All right, so I did get a blank there. Let's choose what I do with that. All right. Okay. Lots of movement for that guy. Okay, so now I have some choices to make. So with the shaman, I do have this. During preparation, I may discard a blank to allow another hero to reroll a blank. So that could be pretty useful. Basically, potentially allowing the nobleman to reroll his blank. That way I wouldn't have to spend an energy. Otherwise, I do have, and I have a couple of ranged shots, so yeah, I'll go ahead and do that. So I'm going to let nobleman reroll. And it's another foot. All right, so now I do have 3 feet. So now this would qualify for the 3 of a kind. So I'm going to change one of those over to doing 1 damage right now. He's way up there. Oh, I also collect this. So that'll be added to my bag as that enemy moved off. Then the other question is, which way do I want to go with that? The defense is really nice, but I would have to take a defense symbol or one of these symbols to be able to use that. So, and that's just a regular sword. So let's do another sword and just try to do some damage this time. And I guess it really doesn't matter too much which way I go this time because I don't really have symbols either way. And there aren't any enemies in there if I choose to dash, so I guess I'll just leave it as is. And other than that, I don't have anything else other than dashing. Do I want to dash? Yes, I do. So I'm going to go ahead and dash with both of those heroes there. And do I want to dash with the nobleman? And yeah, I'll move into there with the nobleman. All right, so I think that's pretty much it. Setting the order, I think I do want the archer to go first. Again, that helps kind of thin out some enemies. So I think I'm pretty happy with that stuff. So, all right, so starting the action phase. All right, so player 1 is going to go, so it is going to be the archer to go first. So I'm going to spend the 2 arrows and take this guy out here. All right, and then I will spend my move action to move in here and my sword action to take out that dog. All right, enemy reaction phase. So the dog has been defeated, so that will take him out. All right, so first off, it would be one of these guys. So this guy is pretty much the only guy in a space with a hero. So he'll be the one to go. So he's going to do 1 damage to the archer, or the forest guard. And then the green has also been defeated. So then the leader would activate. So he is going to attack, or he's going to shoot the closest hero, which is going to be the nobleman. So he's taken 3 damage already. Ouch. All right. And then we're back over to the heroes to go. So it'll be the shaman next. So I have 2 arrows and a move. So I'm going to take the 2 shots on the leader and take out his 2 armor points. So that way then he doesn't have any armor left. And then I'm going to go ahead and move into this space with this archer. All right, then it is over to the nobleman to finish us off. The nobleman is in there with the archer. Archers have 2 health, so I'm going to spend these 2 to take out the archer. And I don't really think I want to move at this point and let that lieutenant smack me a couple times. So I think I'm gonna hold there. Yeah. All right, so then it's into the enemy turns. So Archer's going to activate. Archer can shoot into there, so he's going to do 1 there. And then these 2 don't do anything. This guy is going to attack my forest guard as well, so he's getting hit pretty good. And then the leader activates again. He's not going to be able to do anything, but he will have the closest minion, which is a tie. Let me think. 1, 2, 1, 2. So it is a tie between those 2. So then it would go to initiative order. All right, so he's going to move up, and then it is back over to the cleanup phase for the heroes, and there isn't any tokens or anything to remove, so we are over to round 3. All right, so each of the heroes is going to roll again. All right, so so Shaman's looking pretty good this time. Lots of swords. Okay. And Archer. Okay, Archer, not so much. I've got a lot of icky stuff there. Okay. All right, and the nobleman. All right, nobleman, all the movement. All right, so I do have to choose there. Lots of movement. That would let me move and attack. So yeah, I think I'm going to switch over to the arrow. Okay. So then it goes to order, and that is the question. My archer is getting... Oh, I can dash, but if I dash with the archer, he's going to take damage. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm good there. So I'm going to go ahead and start the action phase. So it's going to go to the archer first, and he is going to go ahead and do 1 damage onto this guy. And then I will spend this and this to move this guy down here. With my Intimidate, lets me move a minion from your zone to an adjacent zone. And then I'm going to spend the move to move here. Oh, and I did have a dash with those guys, but both of them have a lot of movement, so I'm good with those. Okay. All right, so then it's enemy reactions. So first off, the guard is going to be able to choose one of them. This is going to be that guy there. He can attack in his space, which he can't do. So then next he would move and attack the lowest guy. So he's going to move in here and attack the archer anyways. And then finally this guy's going to go. He attacks the lowest hero in there, which he can't do. Then he would move and attack, which he can't do, as he cannot move. So then he would move and gain 2 block. He can't move, though. So I guess he would gain the 2 block, because he cannot move. All right, so that is going to complete that. So then it's back over to the other 2 players to go. So we have the shaman, who is going to move here, and he's going to spend the 3 other dice for 3 attacks. So he's going to get past the 2 there. And, well, actually, before he moved, let's go ahead and... So I got through the 2 block, and I'm going to take him out as with the 3rd attack. That way, then he's not sitting there either. And then it goes over to the nobleman to go, who is in the arrow stance. So I'm going to spend this symbol here to be able to move into here and attack him for 1. And then I'm going to attack him again with the second one. That is going to defeat him as he only has the 2 health. And that takes care of those 2. And then I have 2 movement left. There's no point in moving at this point, and I did get the gem, so I'm good there. And that's going to end the enemy turn, or move into the enemy's turns. So it's going to activate all surviving enemies. So this guy would shoot 1 space away, so he can't hit anybody. And these 2 guards don't do anything either, and leader has been eliminated. So I'm going to start cleanup phase. So last round cleanup. So it says, after the last round of combat, the heroes need to escape by tracing a path to any of the exits. They all need to use the same exit and may take damage on the way, or even get knocked down or knocked out. See exiting the combat scene on page 18 of the rulebook. For this combat scene, the heroes must exit or must use exit A to win. If they cannot use the required exit because it is guarded by an enemy or because they would all be knocked out from taking damage while exiting, then they can use a different exit. This means that they survive, but will lose because all of the objectives are not achieved. Some combat scenes allow the use of any available exit. So if my heroes really got bogged down and they had to move, but they couldn't go up there, then they could go down here and exit. And they would stay alive, but they would not pass the scene. All right, so again, during the cleanup, I am going to mark any heroes that have been defeated and remove all the tokens, which there aren't any. End of round. So you want to play an extra combat round. So I can choose to do this by each one of my heroes taking a corruption. And this is really only a desperation option. So if you really need it, then you pop this. But otherwise, no. So do I want to? No, I don't, because I've already achieved the objectives. So then it says to mark all the completed objectives for main objectives. I defeated the militia officer, which I did. And then I left through exit A, which I have also done. Because this is a combat tutorial, if you fail to achieve all the objectives of the game, it will take you back to the start of the combat scene to try again. Familiarize yourself with the rules in order to be successful. All right, now we're moving on. The confirm objectives completed. Yes, none objectives I have not, so I'm confirming those. All right, recovery and reset. So usually after every combat scene, you perform a recovery and reset and record the health of your heroes. See recovery and reset on page 19. As this combat scene is a tutorial, all heroes restore all of their health and energy to the available box and return any corruption cards they may have received. So all of my heroes would recover all their health, which is great because that's Forest Guard took a considerable amount, and so did my nobleman. Did a pretty decent job on him as well. All right, so that takes care of that, and then from here, then it takes you to the normal recovery and reset. So each hero recovers 1 health and 1 energy. Then enter each hero's health below. For any heroes that were KO'd, instead they are set their health and energy to 2, and click the skull button next to their picture. Each KO'd hero takes a corruption card. So all my heroes are full health and all that because of this scenario. And click any of the gems and food you have collected if they are not already checked, which I did. So I'm good there. Victory. So this tells me you have completed your objective. Combat wins 0 of 0 gems. I gain 1 gold worth of gems and loot collected none. Leave combat. All right. So then I can take the story card 1 from the unlock box and add it to your story deck. Okay, so there's still more story here. So you dash out or down a colonnade and join the crowds, hoping to lose the guards on your tail. You find yourself on a busy street lined with shops. You pause to consider your next move. Whoever the girl was, she was clearly no friend of the Empire. She was your only lead on how to get in touch with Naski. There is one small problem. You have no idea where the guards dragged her off to. So this is going to have me again taking that story card 1. Oops, that was a good spin. All right, so story card 1 is you meet a flower girl who seems to have been waiting for you. She is taken by the militia. All right, so I'll just place that off to the side. And I'm ready to continue. All right, you stop a passing orc dressed in fine tunic. She looks you up and down and seems suspicious of you, but your politeness sets her at ease. You tell her your companion of yours had a bit too much to drink in one of the Caravanserai taverns and was taken by the militia when he got a bit too rowdy. It's not the first time there's been a commotion in the Caravanserai. All sorts try to get into the city. The militia drag the troublemakers off to the guardhouse. I don't know where it is exactly, but it's somewhere around the university. And this is an important part to point out. So as you read through the story, you want to pay attention to some of this stuff, as that is going to be important to figuring out where you want to go on the map, as you're going to see here. So before I continue reading this, I'm going to go ahead and remove all of this stuff from combat, so we'll be back in a second. Returning to our story, you wouldn't have any trouble finding it. Leave the Caravanserai through the southeast gate. Just down the road, you will see a statue of Saint Mayabad. The university is southeast of the statue. The guardhouse should be somewhere around there. All right. So then it's going to just tell me to place the map back out on the board and my mini on location 1, which I've already taken care of. And then find location you want to visit in the map. Then use the app to navigate there. There is a wind rose on the bottom right corner of the map to guide you. Keep track of your current location by moving the party token on the map. Pay close attention to clues and directions given in the story to find your destination and discover Estafir's secrets. All right, so let's go ahead and continue. You are in the center of the main plaza of the Caravanserai. You were told to leave the Caravanserai through the southeast gate to find the university, which is located east of here. So it has me going through this gate here and ending here. So after you choose a direction, place the party mini on your new location on the map and follow your movements through the city. Go through the southeast gate, and that is my only option. So yes, I want to do that. So you stand outside the Caravanserai beside a tower with a banner bearing the sign of a key. And so I have that little banner with the sign of a key there. So that kind of gives me an indication of I'm in the right place that I need to be as far as my marker is concerned. So you get the sense that you're being watched. You look around and you spot a cat walking along a wall above you, keeping pace with you. You realize this is the same cat you had seen earlier in the Caravanserai. It looks at you and then leaps into a ledge on a building and scampers away. All right, so at this point, I can choose to go north, I can go south, I can go west into the Caravanserai, or I can go east. All right, so he did tell me to go south, or the orc told me to go south from here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And so it says you are at a small square just southeast of the Caravanserai. A statue of Saint Marabad with her hands raised stands in the center of the plaza. So that'll be this little statue here. So I'm there. So now I have the option to go back up north to return to where I came. I can go northeast, which looks like it would take me through this pathway here, or I could go west around the city there. As it looks like I'm trying to get here, the northeast seems to be my best option, and then I'll try to head south from there. So let's go ahead and choose northeast. All right, so northeast, you stand in a major crossroads on the east side of the city. An arch with the hanging banner dominates the plaza. So that's this one here. As you turn a corner, you find the same cat you saw moments earlier sitting in the middle of the street, looking intently at you. When you get closer, it tilts its head backwards, moves a few paces away, and turns again to look back at you. It clearly wants you to follow it and seems very determined about it. It heads northeast. You realize you have a choice to make. Do you follow the cat and see where it leads you, or ignore the cat and focus on getting to the flower girl before something bad happens to her? All right, so I have some options to make here. I could go northeast and find out what this cat is trying to tell me, or I could continue going south if I want to try to continue helping her. So I feel like I should probably continue to try to find the girl. I know this cat really is interested, but I think it's more important to get to the girl as she's my main lead at this point. So I'm going to go southeast. So you stand at an intersection in the city's East District, and an oak tree stands in the center of the junction. Ooh, I chose southeast. I wanted to go east. Or south, I meant. Well, southeast is going to put me here, I guess. So I can go... I kind of messed that up. Well, I can go south. I think that'll probably get me into the same spot. So you stand at a bustling crossroads in front of a statue of a sitting scholar in academic's robes. To one side, you can see a large plaza in front of the ornate building. An archway leads into the wide courtyard where scholars, young and old, hurry about carrying knapsacks filled with parchments. You have found the University of Eastsphere. All right, so I'm going to be down here. And then it says remove sticker 8 from the key map, so I can find out what location 8 is. There are several large buildings and surroundings which could be a guardhouse where the girl is being kept. Which shall you investigate? So I can walk into the university courtyard. I can examine the fortified building in the shape of a cross, or investigate the marble-clad townhouse. So I think the fortified building is probably the guardhouse, so I'm going to go ahead and check that one out. All right, so you approach the imposing high-walled building. There are guards on either side of the door and banners bearing the seal of Call, whatever, bellowing on the breeze. This must be the place. All right, suddenly you hear the sounds of a commotion. Cries of "Stop! Thief!" ring out from down the street. The guards at the door rush to investigate, leaving the entrance unguarded for a moment. You open the door and slip inside. You find a series of small chambers ahead of you, sparsely finished, apart from a heavy chest that catches your eye. The flower girl is bound and laying on the floor of a cell at the end of the furthest chamber, but between you and her, the rooms are crawling with guards. They look at you in surprise for a moment, but quickly spring into action. Break into the guardhouse and free the flower girl. To do so, you will need to reach her cell, defeat the militia officer guarding her, and carry her out. All right, so let's see how this is going to go. So enemy abilities, so it's again telling me the abilities I'm going to be finding in this battle. And then I'll have all my cards and stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and grab all of this off camera, and then we'll be back once that's all set up. All right, so now that I have everything set up, we're going to be freeing the flower girl. So our objectives are to save the flower girl. I have to collect the objective token, which right now is being guarded by the captain. And then I need to leave through exit B. So I need to try to keep a pathway open between those two so that I can leave after this. So I have to complete all the main objectives to succeed, and then I have special rules, chests. I read rule 1 in the rule unlocks section, and barricades. So with the barricades, this one basically just means that I cannot fire arrows through here, or no one can fire through arrows this way. Now, enemies that are on this side can fire arrows back. And then with the chests, that one I just have to spend the lattice work symbol to unlock the chest. Valuable loot. To open a chest, spend a focus action and tap on the appropriate chest token on the app. The hero then gains a new item that may equip immediately. So if I'm able to, I'd love to be able to get to that, because I think that would probably be a good thing. All right, so we're into preparation phase, and this is a 3-round battle as well. Whew, it's gonna be a hustle. All right, let's see what we can do here. All right, so I did roll a blank. Other than that, I've got some some swords and stuff. And another blank. Okay, and the nobleman. And another blank. All three of them roll one blank. Whew. Alright, so nobleman, he'll spend an energy to reroll that. Alright, he got a sword. Forest guard. I've got 2 and that. Okay. I think I'm okay with that for the moment. I will spend an energy to reroll this one though. And it's another sword. Oof. That shaman is ready to cut up some peoples. All right, then I do have to set my initiative. So I think I'm actually going to have the shaman go first this time. I don't have any sets of, well, I do have sets of 3, but I think with the shaman, I'm actually okay with that. Yeah, I think I'm okay with that. As far as dashing, all 3 of our heroes are going to dash in. So they're all in there, ready to go. And yeah, I think I'm going to have the shaman go first. So I'm ready to move into the action phase. All right, so first off with the shaman, I am going to go ahead and start by attacking the dog with 1. I will attack the archer with 1. And I have 1 left, and I do have a focus symbol, which I could spend to get another sword. So I could take out all 3 of the enemies here and now. Actually, I think that is a fairly decent idea. So I will do that. Otherwise, I could move in and take out that other archer, which also might not be a bad idea. But I think I'm going to stay with that. Well, oof, what do I want to do? Actually, no, I think I will move. So I'm going to go ahead and move into here and then spend the last sword. And do I take out the dog or the archer? Either one just does 1 damage. I'm going to take out the archer. All right. So I've eliminated both of the archers at this point. Okay. So then reactions. It'd be the dog first. So the dog is going to hit my shaman for 1. And so is that guy. And the other one gets a block. Or no, it's only 1. I almost forgot. It's only 1. So this is the only one that would activate. All right. So that is the enemy. So now it's back over to our heroes to go. The forest guard is going to be next. He's going to spend his 2 swords to hit this guy. And he has an arrow. I can't shoot through that way, so I'm going to go ahead and shoot this way and take out that dog. And then he has the blank, which is just a dud, so I cannot use that for anything. So his turn is done. On to the nobleman to go next. And I chose to stay there, so... And he has 3. So I won't be able to do enough damage to take him out. Well, I kind of messed that one up. I should have probably, instead of taking out the archer, I should have done 1 damage here. So I'm going to do that instead. So I do apologize for that. I should have thought about that a little bit more closely, but it didn't impact the enemies it activated, so it doesn't really matter overall. So I'm going to, since I'm in this slot, I'm going to convert this to the foot and attack action. So it lets me move, and then I have to be able to attack. So I'm going to attack the elite guard, and then I'm going to hit him again with that. So that will be the 3 that I need to take him out. So he has been eliminated. And then I don't really have anything else at the moment. So I could risk it to move into here. Oh, and I got to add the 2 of these to this guy. Okay. I have 2 movements. I think I'm just going to stay there. Unfortunately, I got a lot of movement in this one. It didn't really help me at this point, so I am good there. All right, so then the enemies are going to activate. So dogs first, and then the archers. So the archer can only hit the forest guard, as he cannot shoot the guys in his space. These guys are going to stay where they're at, and they don't do any damage. This guy is also going to stay where he's at and doesn't do any damage. And then finally, the leader is going to go. So first off, leader would attack anything in his space, which there are no heroes. Then he can attack 1 space away with that, which he cannot do. And then finally, the enemy turns, or during enemy turns, move the closest red minion not in this enemy's zone, 1 zone towards this enemy. So right now the 2 are tied, and so this guy has the higher initiative or lower initiative, so he's going to be moved over. And that is everything there. All right, so then the cleanup phase, we remove any tokens that we need to, and we start a new round. All right, round 2 for the heroes. All right, this guy is a cutting machine, it looks like. So we've got 3 swords and a foot, so he's going to be able to move and attack, okay? All right. And this guy actually rolled 3 of the same symbol. All right, but I do have marksman. So it says, during preparation, if you do not roll any arrows, which I did not roll any arrows, you may re-roll all of your dice once. Which I think at this point is the better option. And I do get the food, because there's nobody in that space. I do get to collect the food. So I am going to re-roll these. All right, so I do get an arrow this time, and I did get that. I'm going to spend a focus to reroll. Oh, no, so I don't get anything on that one. So I basically got the same thing. And then finally the nobleman. Nobleman has that. I'm going to spend 1 to reroll this. Okay. So I did get 3 of those. Overall, though, I'm not terribly upset about that, but I will change this, or I do have 3, so I can't change that. That'd be great if I could change that. I could change one of those 3 to a different symbol. So I'll change this one to an arrow. That way I can benefit from that. So I'm going to stay in that stance and just do that. All right, and then I don't have anything else at the moment for that. I will dash into here with him. Now the nobleman, I could dash. And I don't suffer the damage because of my stance with that. And then the question is, do I keep what I have right now? I think I will. I do like him going first. He's going to be able to clean out both of those guys, which would be very helpful. This guy's only going to be doing 1 damage. So I won't have enough to take him out. If he would have just rolled a little better. All right, that's okay though. We'll hopefully be able to get him next time. So I'll go ahead and do it this way then. That'll hopefully work out. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and start off with the shaman as I'm ready to go. The shaman, I will be getting one of those. So I'm going to spend one of his swords to take out this archer, as they only have 1 health, so I will collect one of those. And then I think I'm just going to leave that behind. I think that's just a lost cause at this point. So I'm going to spend my move action to move into here. And my last 2 swords I'll spend to take this guy out. All right, so he's done. I did get that as well. All right, so enemy reactions. Archers have been eliminated. So it's going to be one of those guys, which would attack and then move towards the lowest hero. So it's going to be, there's a tie, so it is going to be based on initiative, so he's going to move over. And then this guy would gain a block because he cannot attack. All right, then it's back to us. So my nobleman is next, so I'm going to spend this to move and attack. So I'm going to take out one of those. And then I'm going to attack again to take out his other. And then I will do one on that guy. Okay. So that takes care of the nobleman, as I don't have anything else that I can do with that at the moment. So it's over to the forest guard next. I'm going to move in here. I'm going to use my arrow to take this guy out. Since he is a frontline guy anyways, I have to target him. I don't have a choice. And that will take care of this. And I used one of those. I do have a focus to move a minion from your zone into an adjacent zone. But I don't have another symbol, and I cannot use that one for that. So if I had another one, I could do that to move this guy out. Could have pushed him back there, but I don't currently. So might as well move in and see what happens with that. All right, so that is all of my characters. So then the enemies are going to go. So this guy is going to attack my shaman for 1. The general is going to attack for 2. And I'm going to take it on the nobleman. Otherwise, my archer, I don't really want to take a bunch with my archer. Okay, and this guy's going to move up. All right, and we're moving into the final phase. This is the last round. All right, so shaman first. All right, so shaman, not too bad. Archer, or forest guard. Okay, so that's a little better. Okay, and the nobleman. Okay, got 2 and 2. All right. The shaman is going to spend an energy to reroll this. All right, so not really super helpful. But, well, shaman could go and get that thing then, I guess. Or I could also use it to heal somebody, which might also be a good idea. All right, so I think I'm good there. And then I have to choose order. So, that front guy and that front dude is protecting him. So I think I'm just going to keep it as is. All right, so starting out with the shaman, I'm going to go ahead and move into here. I'm going to take a shot, and it has to hit him. And then I will spend that to interact with the chest. Open a chest, sure to activate this action is irreversible. Yes, I do. All right, so take the following item from the unlock box or token tray and place it on the party backpack. Any weapons or equipment you have may be equipped to the hero who found them. All right, so item 101. All right, so this is Officer Yagin. This is pretty good. So he's going to hold on to it for now, but I definitely think I want to trade that to the nobleman. I think that's going to be much more helpful for him. Okay. All right, so then we're into the enemy reactions. So it's going to be the red guy first. So I'll take it on this guy. And then the captain again is going to hit for 2 more. Ouch. So nobleman will take 2. That was not good. I was hoping for the other guy to go, but no such luck. All right, so then it's back to us. So it's going to be the nobleman next. So I'm going to hit 2 on the captain. And I don't really think there's any point in moving away at this point, so I'm going to stay where I'm at. And then it's over to the forest guard. So I'm going to hit and take him out. And then I'm going to move here and take a shot on this guy to finish him off. And I have 1 more arrow that I really can't do anything with at this point. All right, so then it's starting enemy turns. This guy would go, which he can't do anything, and I should have removed that from previous rounds. All right, none of my heroes were KO'd, though they got close. All right, so ends of round. Do you want to play an extra round of combat? No, I think I'm pretty much good. I saved the flower girl, and I can leave through exit B. All right, so I save the flower girl, collects the objective token, and B. Confirm. All right, so each hero recovers 1 and 1, so I get 1 back here. So forest guard's not doing too bad. This poor nobleman is not doing great though. Any heroes who are KO'd instead, they get their, okay, so nobody was KO'd, so he's at 6, 4, and 3. Yikes. All right, and I did not collect the other 3 gem. All right, so you have completed your objectives. +1 victory point. Combats 1, 1 of 1. Gems, 3 gold worth of gems. Loot collected. Leave combat. All right, so once you've left the guardhouse far behind and you are standing in a secluded alley, the flower girl embraces you, one after the other. Oh, thank you so much for saving me, she says, in a voice that seems to have been even more childlike. I don't know what those horrible guards would have done if you hadn't come for me. She looks like she's fighting off tears. You try to make this scared little girl fit with the savage creature you saw murder 2 guards earlier in the day. Take story card 2 from the unlock box and add it to your story deck. All right, so story card 2 is you rescued the flower girl from captivity. Okay. You don't have too much time to think about it. The shadows come alive around you. In front of you, to the left and to the right and behind, figures emerge from the dark. On a wrist that flashes a blade in your direction, you see a tattoo of a dotted circle. It's the same as the flower girl's mark. The massive orc with the tattooed arm speaks. I'm sure you don't want any trouble. We don't either. You did us a favor getting this scoundrel out of the militia's hands. Hand her over and we can all go on with our day. The girl scowls at them. Before you can stop her, she bares her teeth and charges at the nearest of the bandits. With a single daft movement, she pulls a knife from the sheath of her at her hip and plunges it into his neck. She turns and jumps onto the second bandit, slashing at her throat. Oof. That's as far as she gets. Just as she's about to bring a knife down again, the orc grabs her and throws her across the alley as easily as if she were throwing a pebble. She slams into a wall and falls unconscious to the ground. Very well, the orc says. This could have been easy, but if you insist, I will at least make it fun. A gang of bandits ambushes you in an attempt to kidnap the flower girl. Survive the ambush and escape with the flower girl from one of the 2 streets that lead away out of the alley. Holy smokes, man. I barely get to recover and I'm right back at it. Wow. Okay, so I'm back in another fight. All right, so now there's some new abilities here. We have some stealth abilities that are going to come into play. So it cannot be targeted if there are other enemies in the zone unless they have stealth as well. And that's listed twice. And the armor piercing, when this enemy does damage to a hero, that hero cannot use blocks and armor to reduce this damage. Oof, nasty. Okay. All right, so again, I'm going to go ahead and set everything up, and then we'll be back for this combat. Moving back in, I've got everything set up now. This looks like it's going to be a doozy. This is not a small ambush by any means. There are a ton of enemies out here. So my objective with this one is to have the hero carrying the flower girl must leave an exit without getting KO'd. And the other objective is to leave by any exits. Now, there is one new feature on here, which is the difficult terrain, which basically is going to not allow heroes to dash out of that space. In order to move out of that space, that hero has to spend a move action as well as another die of something. I also have to select a hero that will carry the flower girl. You're going to place the objective token on that hero's board, and while carrying the flower girl, this hero cannot perform dashes. In addition, during preparation, after rolling dice, they must discard 1 die of their choice for that turn. The flower girl can only be carried by the assigned hero. So I'm thinking of the shaman as being my selected hero. But I'm also thinking, I don't know, because it needs to be a hero that can move. The question is, how do I want to handle this? And how many rounds there are too. So I guess that'll determine some of this factor. If there's only 3 rounds, this is gonna be really hard. All right. So yeah, I think the shaman is my best option. Ugh, it's only 3 rounds again. Oh, this is gonna be brutal. All right, so start by rolling my hero's dice. Let's see what happens here. All right, so this one's all arrows except for that. So I will have to discard one of those options. So I guess I'll drop an arrow as the shaman. Okay, so then the forest guard. Forest guard has got 3, and this was a dud. And then now that I have 5 dice with the weapon, I have to choose up to 4 dice out of those to roll each round. And this die has this symbol, which basically converts to the heavy sword, but currently the heavy sword doesn't have an effect. It lets me re-roll the blank symbol, so that's a positive. Otherwise, it just has a bunch of swords, so it's great as an attack option to get me more swords. So I think I will roll this with... Maybe I'll leave that one behind. I'll roll these. I'll try that this round and see. I can switch out each round if I need to, so... All right, so that wasn't the best. So I'll spend that to re-roll. Oh. the one result I cannot use. Except for that, if I do that. But I didn't roll any arrows, so I definitely want to opt for that choice, the low guard. All right. And then the question here is, yep, I'm going to spend that to reroll that because at this point I need as many results as possible here. All right, that is that. And then it is player choice as far as who to activate and where to go. And dashing. So I think the forest guard is going to dash into here. And the question is, do I go down and try to get the chest? I've only got 3 rounds to pull this off. So that chest is going to be tricky. And I have no movement. So I think I'm going to push forward at least for now. We'll worry about some of that later. As I don't have any movement right now, so I really can't do a whole heck of a lot. So, and then the question is who to go. So I'm going to go ahead and switch these out. Do that. Okay, so moving into the turn, it is going to be the shaman first. So I'm going to go ahead and I think I'm going to take out both of these recruits with the 2 arrows. And then I do have a choice. I can move. Definitely want to move. I'm going to move forward. All right, so then it's on the enemy actions. So they would activate. And none of them are in a space with a hero. So next is going to be, one of them is going to move 1 space to the hero. So it'd be this one. So this guy's going to move here. Okay, and then this guy is the closest one. It's going to be this one. He's just going to gain a block. It's going to go away at the end of the round anyway, so I'm just going to take it off because none of my heroes are going to get anywhere near there this round. All right, so then it's back to the heroes. So it is the forest guard next. So he's going to go ahead and use his dagger to take this guy out here. As he only has 1 health, that means that I get the gem. And then I'm going to go ahead and move back. And I'm going to go ahead and shoot this guy with that. The assassin would move out. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to spend that at this point. There's nothing else to do there. So I think I'm done with his turn. So then it's going to be over to the nobleman to go. I basically have 2 swords, and I have that, so I can get a block. So I definitely want to do that. And the 2 swords will take out these 2. All right. And then this one's simply going to be wasted because I don't have any other options to do with that. I can't move, so I think this is pretty much going to be wasted because there's no enemy in my room or my zone. So I did get that gem. So starting the enemy turn. So starting with the dog first. The dog is there, so he's going to move and attack. So I take a damage there because he can't do the first option. And then there's that dog there. So it's going to move. It won't be able to attack. All right. Next are these guys. So this one would shoot into here. And I guess I'll take it with the noble. This one cannot shoot, so it's going to move, and it says it moves towards an exit. So I think it would move here because that's a shorter path to that exit. And that one already shot. That one's not going to move because it's guarding the exit. All right, recruits attack. And if they can't, they're going to move. So this one moves here. That one moves there, and that one moves there. All right. Then the stealth, or the assassins, would attack in their zone, move and attack, or move. So that would move there, and this one's going to move here. These guys attack. They can't. And then the gang leader, he is going to attack. He can't, so then he would shoot, which he can't, and then he would move. All right, so I think everybody's going to be piling in there. I forgot to add a token to him. All right, the dog is the only one in that space that does not have stealth. So as soon as the dog is gone, then I can actually target other enemies in there. Ooh, this is going to be a rough round, I think. And that's everybody. So cleanup phase, we remove these tokens. So just that one, because the other one I didn't put down. And there aren't any other cubes to remove at this point, so end of round. All right, back to round 2. All right, preparation phase. So I'm rolling. All right, so I got those. Okay, what to move? So there's nothing in her space currently, and she can't, or he can't dash. So I need to keep the move. So this is the one that pretty much isn't going to help me. So I can go in there and hack away a couple times. All right, Forest Guard. 2 blanks. So I'm definitely going to spend that to reroll these 2. Lots and lots of movement. Or actually, I rolled 2 blanks. So I'm not going to spend that. I'm going to trigger my ability instead. Since I didn't roll any arrows, I'm going to re-roll the whole lot of it. All right, that changes things up, and I didn't have to spend the energy. Okay, and then with the nobleman, what do I want to do? I think I'll keep it the way it is with that, and hope for something better this time. All right, so I do get to re-roll this. That's a cracked die, so I get to roll again, and it's a sword. Okay. So he doesn't have any movement either. Oh, I forgot to put those guys. Each one of them has an armor as well. Okay. All right, and the nobleman. Now this time I don't have, well, I do have the arrow, so I'm going to switch over to that. That way I can use that arrow to move in and attack. So the question is, do I go for that with the archer or the forest guard? Splitting the party, especially with this many enemies bearing down on me, though, could be really bad for him. But having an extra treasure early on could be a big deal too. And if I dash out of there, I'm going to take a wound, so I'll be down to 4. So he has some potential there. That guy can't move. Okay, so I can dash with him, so I will do that. I cannot dash with the shaman and the archer. I'm going to be crazy. I'm going to go here. That I don't know if that's going to be a good move or not, but I guess we'll find out. Actually, I don't want to dash. I'm just going to move into there. So I'm going to stay there. All right, so player order. In the player order, how do I want to do order? I almost feel like the nobleman needs to go first. Nobleman's only got 3 health, so I gotta try to do some serious damage with him. No, I didn't want to dash with him either because I'm going to need to use that to move in and attack. So I'm good there. All right, I think I'm good. All right, so moving into it. So nobleman's first. So I'm going to spend this to move and attack. And I pretty much have to target the dog as he's the only one that doesn't have stealth. All right, and then I have 3 attack that I can dish out. All right, so the elite or the blue guy cannot attack me currently in that space. So then, do I hit the assassin or the captain? I think the captain or the gang leader is probably my bigger threat. So I'm just going to dump everything on him and take him out. Okay, so he's gone. Yes, he needed 3, so that takes care of all of my stuff currently. All right, so that is the nobleman's turn. So then it's on to the enemy reactions. All right, so I have a recruit. Only 1 enemy reacts for each enemy. All right, so the recruit would basically attack the forest guard, and then green is going to get, it's the higher order, so he would probably be he's the lower on the initiative poll, so he's going to get that. All right. So now it is back to my players' turns. All right, so that was Nobleman's turn. Over to the Forest Guard. I am going to... I'm going to attack the dog with my sword. Then I'm going to move. And, oh, no, I don't want to do that yet. I don't want to move yet. I'm going to shoot the 2 arrows first at the assassin. And then I'm going to move. All right. Making my way in there. Fortunately, I need to roll really good to work on that guy. It's going to take everything I got. Well, then I won't be able to get that, so. So I guess I'm not going that way because it's not going to do me any good. All right. So I'll move there, I guess. I won't be able to get that treasure. Otherwise, I would, unless I go another round, but that's, I still have a lot of enemies bearing down on me. That would be 1 to be able to move in there. We'll be able to attack. This one would move in and attack, so that'd be at least 1 damage. I want to hit him from a distance if possible. Yeah, I just don't know. Well, I did commit to it, so I'm going to try it. Because if we do an extra round here. So that was his turn, so then it's the shaman's turn, who's going to move in and attack for 2. So I'm going to hit the assassin, as the other guy also has stealth, and he can't attack from where he's at. All right, that is everything. So it's enemy turns. So the dogs are gone. It's over to these guys, so he's going to shoot in here and attack for 1. I'm going to take it on the shaman. And then these guys go, they're going to move, and they're moving towards highest initiative. So this guy's going to move here, this one will move here and there. And then it's the green guys to go. This guy's going to lose that because nobody's going to hit him. And then the assassins are going to go, so she's going to move in here and hit me for 1. And then he's gone. Revenge of the Flower Girl. Flower Girl suddenly wakes and jumps off your shoulders, tumbles to the ground, rolls and charges in with a blood-curdling cry towards the brigands. In a blink of an eye, she leaps onto the enemies, brandishing a shiv and stabbing fiercely. Place the objective token A in a zone adjacent to the one that the hero carrying the Flower Girl is in. Select one of them. Select the one with most enemies in it, randomizing ties. So it'd be her, or that one. So she jumps in here. Place the... Okay. Randomizing ties. Deal 2 damage to a random enemy. If there are any surviving enemies in the zone, place the lowest priority enemy by type, blue to purple, the number if there are more than one of the lowest priority type guarding the Flower Girl objective A. She may be picked up again by any hero in the zone. If the guarding enemy is killed, continue the combat with the same objectives. All right, place objective token A in a zone adjacent to the one with the hero's carrying her. So she'd go into there with the most enemies, randomizing ties. Deal 2 damage to a random enemy in there. All right, so random enemy. All right, so let's go with the guard at low and the elite saboteur high. So 4, 5, 6 is going to be blue. 1, 2, 3 is green. All right, so green takes 1. Unfortunately, the other wound is going to just be added or removed at the end of the round because we're still doing cleanup here. All right, and then she's attached to him, I guess. All right. So round 3. So she helped a little bit. Holy smokes, that's a lot of that. So I'm going to go ahead and re-roll these. All right, so I still got 1. Jeez. Okay, so on to Forest Guard. He got 1. And I'm going to stay with this with the Noble. That's a lot of stuff there. Okay. All right, so I'm going to spend that on the Shaman to re-roll the Forest Guard. All right. And he did not roll any arrows, so I'm going to re-roll the whole lot. Okay. Doesn't really help too much. We're spend. Oh, I can't do that yet. Okay, so I think that's everything. So now ordered. How do I want to do this? The archer is just down there hanging out, and I only got 1 move, so he's definitely not doing it now. He's not going to get in there. All right, so the question is, who do I go with first? So I think I'm just going to stay in the order that I'm in. I think I'm all right there. All right, so moving into it. Well, the question is, what did I do? Do I want to dash? So yes, I do. I want to dash with him. All right. And when can I pick up the treasures there? Do I have to have all the people out of there? Because that's going to be an issue as well. All right, so it does not say that all the enemies have to be out of there. So I can do that. All right, so he's going to go. He's going to use his 3 attack to take this guy out. So that gives me the objective, or gives me the girl back. And I will spend that last one to activate, locate the chest B. Take the following items from the unlocked box or token tray and place them in your party backpack. Any weapons or you find may be equipped to the hero who found them. So I get 177 and 174. So I got a couple of potions here. So there's 174. And 177. All right, what did I find? So I have the Vitality Potion. At any time, recover all of your energy, then return this card. And Potion of Speed, gain 2 movement, then return this card. All right, so those go into my backpack. All right, so that takes care of his turn. So enemy reactions. So one of those guys is going to activate. All right, so I'm going to take one on the shaman. Not much of a choice. Well, it's one or the other. So yeah, this guy would shoot into there. Either way. All right, and then purple goes. He's dead. So then it'll be a red enemy that's in his space, so he takes 1. All right, so now it is back to our turns. All right, so he's going to be next. So I'm going to move back 1, and I'm going to fire 2. And I basically cleaned those guys out. So I do those 2. I spent that to move. So I have 1 left. Well, I mean, either way, I'm going to take a damage. Yeah. No way around it. All right. So that's that. And then it is over the shaman to finish us off. And shaman is going to move in here and take this guy on for 2. So that takes him out. All right, starting the enemy turns. So all the dogs are gone. Then he activates shooting into there. So no one's going to take 1 for that. Then this guy moves, but can't do anything. She's going to move and attack, so he's going to take 1 there. And he doesn't do anything, and the leader's gone. All right, so do you want to play an extra combat round? No, I don't think so. I do get this 2nd gem. All right, here's carrying the feral girl must leave from an exit without not getting knocked down. Okay. And leave from any exit. So it's going to be exit B, obviously. All right, the hero carrying the flower girl must leave, and yes, I confirmed all that. All right, so this guy would actually lose 2 health, so he would be knocked down. So he's going to gain a corruption, but then he's going to get 2 and 2 back. So I got to pull a corruption card for him. I did get that second one there. Okay, corruption. All right, let's go ahead and give them a shuffle. All right, I'm going to take this one. All right, so I have weak constitution. You cannot recover health from food or healing fountains. The richest feast turns to ashes in your mouth. The sweetest balm burns your skin. You are exalted from everything nourishing and restoring in life. That's not good. All right, so you've got 2 health left. Now, this guy's got 1 health left. I can't go below 2 for some reason. Oh, yeah, because I'm going to recover 1 and 1. And this guy does the same. Okay, so he's down to 2. And I should probably spend the food to bring one of them back up at least. So I'll give the nobleman 1 and 1 as well. Because this guy can't use food. Okay, so victory, 2 of 2 combats, 6 gold worth of gems, and I got the loot. The exhausted flower girl falls unconscious again, and you hoist her over your shoulders and run before the surviving bandits can catch up with you. You only stop to catch your breath once you get to the more crowded streets around the University Square. You need to figure out what you do next, but at least until the girl recovers, you have no idea where to go. Luckily, you don't stay that way for long. You turn a corner and a boy dressed in filthy rags approaches you, peering out of nowhere and pressing a crumpled paper into your hands. Before you can say anything, he disappears just as fast as he appeared. You unfold the paper and read what is written. To the heroes from the forest, news has reached me that my trusted messenger has had a bit of a run-in with some unsavory characters. It is important that you find your way to me with utmost haste. Darylos. You turn the note over and find a list of directions on the other side. Place the map of Estafir in front of you and place your party token at location 8. Pay close attention to the directions in the story to find your destination. Take card 228 from the unlocked box. Use the clues on the card to find the indicated location on the map, then use the app to navigate there from your hero's current location. All right, so I got to pull card 228. 228 is... 228. Okay, there's that. And before I go any farther, I need to clean up, so I'll be right back. All right, now that I have everything cleaned up, I've revealed the card, and it shows some images on here, which after you open up the map, I think I've found it. So it shows the boat with the little swirly symbol on its sail, and then it shows that I go from there to this tower here with the sword on it, and then finally it looks like I'm ending on this place here with the little leaf. So I basically have to make my way from where I'm at now down to the boat, which looks like it'll be a little bit of a trip here, so we'll see how this goes. So you stand at the University Square under the gaze of the robed scholar on her pedestal. From here you can see the university courtyard where scholars take a break from their studies to sit for a moment around the circular pond. All right, so from here, it looks like I'm going to need to go south. So south, you stand south of the university beside a small temple with a star above its dome. So small temple with a star above its dome, which is there. So I basically have gone there. So I can go back north or I can go south, going south again. You stand in a square in the southeast of Estafir. between the first and second wall. A small temple of Maker stands in the middle of the square. You can hear the chatter from a nearby restaurant. Okay, going south. You stand in a square. Square southeast. Between the first and second wall. Okay, so it looks like I'm going to be down here. A small temple of the Maker stands in the middle of the square. I guess that would be that. You can hear chatter from a nearby restaurant. Okay, so I can go northeast, which would take me back the way I came. I can go southeast, which looks like it would take me through the wall. Or I can go west. Southeast would take me down, or west would probably take me up through here, and then I can go through that wall there and head down through the piers. Let's go west. Halfway through the boulevard, you stop beside a building ornate with a large lotus flower. Oh, okay. That's the building in the center there, so I'm right there. Okay. So I can go west or east. So I'm going to keep going west. You stand in a square outside of Estevar's famous Breeze garden. As if guarding the garden, a legionnaire's statue stands with a raised sword. The gates to the inner parts of the city is closed. Roost sticker. All right, so I'm here. The gate to the inner part of the city is closed. So that's okay. I can go east. I go southwest, which is I think where I need to go, or northeast, which is up and over. So I'm going to go southwest. And I'm not worried about the stickers at the moment. So you stand on the harbor docks in front of one of the south gates, marked with a banner of an anchor. Yep, so that's that one. Right behind you, a towering crane is busy loading supplies into the naval vessel. All right, so then I can go northeast, which would take me back through the gate. Go southeast, which I think is the way I want to go. Yep. All right, so he stands on the eastern side of the harbor beside the statue of the meditating orc, which probably is that one there. The Helic district, home to the merchants and craftspeople, is in the southeast. Okay, so now I can go east, which would continue down here. Southeast, which is going to probably take me down that way. South, which I'm hoping will take me there, or northeast. So I'm going to go south. I hope that's the way I need to go. You stand in front of an old beached galley with a fat serpent painted on its unfurled sail. Yep, that's the one I need to go to. A tavern has been built right into it, and the sign above the door welcomes you to the bloated sea snake. You can hear the sound of singing and laughter. Remove sticker 12 from the key map. Move the party token to location 12 if you haven't already. All right, so I can either go north or east. All right, so I'm continuing east, I guess, because it doesn't really give me an activation. So it looks like I start there, hopefully go through. So let's see if this works. So you were in the south of Estevar in the Helic district. Beside you, a grand tower marked with a sword banner stands. Okay, and I'm going to keep going east. This should do it, hopefully. You have to admit to yourself that you're completely lost. There's an old ship that's been converted into a tavern. Try going there and following the directions drawn on the note. You are in the south. Try going there and following directions. You are on the south side of Estevar, in the Helic district. A temple nearby, a rundown little building, bears a small symbol with a feather emblem. You barely spot the entrance through the heaps of trash that surround it. Go north, go west, enter the building with the feather emblem. Well, I want to enter the building with the feather emblem. Entering the building with a feather emblem, inside is a surprising scene. Rooms comfortably laid out with Devons, carpets, and rich tapestries. Remove sticker 16 from the map key and move the party token to location 16. If you have not done so already, read this section on the rest scenes on rulebook page 22, then click Start Rest Scene. You can now visit the blacksmith and training hall during rest scenes. Remove sticker 21 and 22 from the key map. Take the filing items out of the box. Location cards 194, 196, and 197, which is the blacksmith and the trading hall respectively. Side quest cards. Side quest The Emperor's Speech is 207. Side quest The Covered Market is 208. And side quest Cult of the Arrowhead is 218. Time tokens. 3 time tokens. After finishing the rest scene, place the location cards and side quest cards into the party tuck box. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and grab all those cards and we'll be back to see how that works. Okay, so I've pulled out the different cards, and so I hit continue, and it says, as you get ready to set off into the city, Darilos approaches you in your chambers. He hands you a purse heavy with coin and waves you away when you ask questions. You are newly arrived to Esafir, he says, and you will not get very far with an empty pocket. Consider this an investment. I expect great things from you. Take 5 gold worth of gems. I'll take a blue gem as that is worth 5. So I'm not doing too shabby on gems. And then continue. Okay, so I have some locations here that I can go to. I have his hideout that the party can recover 2 health. Total for each gold spent. Heroes may also buy food for 1 gold each. And the other 2 locations, the blacksmith and the well, there's the blacksmith. And grab the wrong card. Like that doesn't look right. I have the training hall. $97. Alright, in the training hall, each hero may buy 1 level 1 skill of their deck at their shown costs. I don't know if I have enough coin for that. So I can go to the blacksmith and look and see what he has without spending time tokens. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. All right, so he has poison darts. That one's 4 coins. The Ravenger, which gives me, for every circle that I roll, so every one of those that I roll, it lets me have a sword that does +1 damage. If you defeat an enemy using this weapon die, you must perform a move and attack into a zone with enemies in it, if possible. Alright, so it's kind of a bloodlust kind of thing. And then we have the Biter, which is... it's going to take up both weapon slots, and it basically does a similar thing to that. It just, for the circle spent, it gives you a sword at +1. And that's 3 gold. I mean, those are nice, but I don't know if they're necessarily worth all that. So I have 15 gold right now. Definitely going to need to buy some health. So I have 3 there, 5 there, and 4 here. So if I spend 5 of it, I'm going to get 10 health back. That would still give me 10 to work with. Might be better to buy a skill and spend the 2 there. I don't know about going on a side quest. The only one I probably would go on right away is that it only has a difficulty of 1 is the Cult of the Arrowhead. As that one might actually be doable at my current state, but I'd hate to buy a bunch of health and then get my butt kicked on that. So, all right, so let's start with the hideout. So I have to spend one of these. Oh, so no time tokens are required to visit his hideout. All right, so I'm going to spend the 5 that I got to heal 10. So there's 2, 4, that's 6, 8, 9, and I'll go 10. Okay, so we're almost fully healed. I could spend 1 more and finish it off. Hmm. 10. So unless I have some skills that are, which I probably don't, they're probably 3 apiece. Well, I do have 9, 10, so I could potentially get 1 skill for each hero. So, yeah, let's go ahead and do that. So I'll go to the training hall. And each one of my heroes gets to buy a skill, level 1 skill. So I'm going to go ahead and do this real quick, and then I'll be back to go over what I get. Okay, so for my selections, with the Shaman, I took Power Chant, and this one lets me convert a miss into a focus, which can be useful for my Ice Knife. On the Forest Guard, I have Quick Draw, so this lets me convert 1 of my focus to an arrow or an arrow to a focus. And with the Nobleman, I have Compound Attack, so I can use a big attack there to gain and do 1 attack and a block. So it'll just make him a little bit more defensive, which is going to be helpful. And each one of these is a once per turn kind of thing. Okay, so I have 1 time counter left, and I have no money left. So I can't buy anything at the blacksmith. There's no point in going back to the hideout. So I either quit here, or I could choose to try one of these side quests. And this is the Cult of the Arrowhead. So it says, there are others who oppose the Emperor's ways. Many have fled the city, but those who still linger may be able to offer help, if you can find them. Oh, let's go ahead and try a side quest. All right, so Cult of the Arrow. Okay, you return to your hideout, having made acquaintance with others who, like you, live in Estefer's shadows and oppose the Ilric's authority. It's a relief to know that you are not completely alone in this strange land. Okay, so I'm back at 16. Discard that one. And return to the rest screen. All right, and the rest scene. You feel rested. All heroes recover all of their energy. I don't have any armor cubes yet, so I don't get any of that. Well, I think I'm going to end it there. I don't want to reveal too much, as the big point of the game is going through the narrative and discovering what is going on and trying to take down this empire. But I hope you found the video helpful in learning more about Fateforge. As always, if you have any questions or comments, please post those in the comment section below, or let me know if I got anything wrong. I do my best to get the rules as accurately as possible, but I do make mistakes from time to time, and I love hearing from you in the comments down below. Let me know if you want to see anything else around the game as well, and until next time, I'll see you later.